Hello, welcome to the Bard's Tale review. Oh my gosh, that rhymes. This is TVioSP's broadcasting live from the vault in our stars. So this is a review of the game. I have been playing it.
You'll die here, I'm thinking.
Oh my gosh. He's like, we will die immediately on the spot. I've been playing it, and normally I play, not normally in life, but through the Vault channels that I've done so far, I've played a game through to the end, and I just could not do it with this one. So, that being said, it's just not my type of game. We're gonna do a little review of it. Here it is. The covering of it, very similar to what's going on right now. Minus the giant guy in the background. This was the director's cut, which was maybe a little too much for myself to chew off, because as you can tell by this little IV over here, it's also the fourth game or story journey of the series, and I haven't played any of them, and I haven't even heard of it or seen the non-director's cut, so maybe that was my first mistake. It does come with this cute little map. I love games that have maps and stuff that you can give to the storyline. That being said, there's a lot of storyline, which is, for me, a double-edged sword. Looking at the review topics, we have marketing. Like I said, never heard of this game. Please don't spill coffee everywhere. I don't really watch I'm not like a primary ad watcher. I avoid ads, probably, if anything. So for me not to have seen anything in the market is not like crazy. But based on the game itself, it says in the back here, the director's cut of the legendary role-playing game, the ancient powers that once laid waste to Kate and Scarbray have fallen into oblivion, and the victorious heroes of yore are held in contempt. But now a new evil stirs. Do you possess the bravery to thwart the masters and defy the darkness? It doesn't look like it has any awards or anything to brag about on the box, but it does say legendary role-playing game, so there must have been some sort of marketing of some sorts. But I didn't hear about it, so we're just gonna give it maybe like a 2. The graphics of the game, pretty good for the time of itself, which is, I think, now-ish. If it's any older than that, then they're pretty amazing. No, 2019 game. But lots of attention to detail. If you look through some of the cracks in the building, it's literally a full house inside that you don't even get to walk through or do anything other than see through that little crack, so that's pretty awesome of them. And the bots, well, that's a different part of it, but AI is not that smart, but not really a problem. The art, for what they had, very mute coloring throughout the whole entire game. Maybe that's on purpose to make certain things stand out, but the only things I've seen stand out are shields, or like this guy's pants over here, So nothing in particular that's like, oh, there's a secret over there. That being said, the secrets aren't really secrets. You get a hammer that knocks down walls. It's not spoilers, by the way. But it's very obvious. Even before I got the hammer, I was like, just from playing Zelda, I can tell you that wall can be bombed or broken or something. And sure enough, it is. So, with the graphics, I am giving the graphics probably a good 8. But then the art on top of that, maybe just a 5. It's a little confusing. I put it in the middle. I don't like a lot of the decisions they made, but it's a pretty game. I don't see a lot of like copy and paste repetition. Other than the faces of people. The storyline. I'm sure the storyline is super wonderful, super amazing, awesome, beautiful, way too in-depth for myself. But if you're really into Scar Bray and this whole Bard's Tale 1, 2, and 3, maybe you already know all the things and you can just jump into it. But I could not. I don't even know what's going on, to be honest. I know that this guy down here in the corner had a body double that was like doing bad things in his name. That was his story, but that was like one small chapter. And we're in the middle of this Green Lady's chapter, and I can't remember the other two people's chapter, but basically the overall storyline seems to be a wonderful, this is actually, I've said it in the middle of playing, hopefully a wonderful compliment. There is a wonderful, how many times can I say wonderful? Probably at least 3 more times. There's a wonderful undertone of racism and how it affects society and the blind mindset of those not in the minority, and just all the like the hatred and the bigotry and the stuff inside there. I've already gotten like major undertones of that within this. I say undertones because it's all fantasy realm. They're talking like, oh, elves have it really hard out here, kind of. I mean, it's more intense than that, but it's not that hard to replace elves or trolls or whatever with a minority, and it just mirrors it so wonderfully. Twice now. One more left. Oh, so I'm gonna say the storyline also once again a 5. Too crazy in depth, but what I got out of it was really awesome, and I think if I was a fan of the game, maybe I would have gotten more. The characters. I will give, just straight out of the box, a nice 8 for the characters. The faces, like I said, are repetitive, but you get to create your own, kind of. Maybe I'll bring it down to a 7. But there are multiple races and people to play as and play against and just randomly walk around town and talk to. So, yes, I like that. The gameplay. You get a lot of options when you first start playing this game to like, it can either be this style or a mix of 2 different styles or the other style. So there's like 2 major styles and then a combination of the 2, which I'm playing. As you can see, I was walking around just minding my own business, and there's some people here that I can fight, and as I approach them, it goes into this battle mode type of thing. So before I got into this, it's kind of just an open walk around, area, there's little like patches of the game that get loaded in. Like I'll be in this town, and if I leave this town, another patch will have to be loaded in of like now the woods you're in, or the sewer I'm in, or something like that. So it's not completely open world, but you can go freely back and forth once you've opened a path to these areas, I believe. I'm sure there will be parts of the storyline that make that not true. Then you get into game fighter mode with these guys here, and it's more of like a chessboard. Certain pieces do different things. I switch between them like this, and if you've played any type of RPG, you know that you've got people with different backgrounds, different abilities, and different advantages and disadvantages to the fight. This is the rogue, so he's more sneaky, has more like small tactile attacks. I don't know if that makes any sense, but he can turn invisible, he can throw out little like small tacks on the ground, and he can shank people pretty easily.
Ready.
We got this guy. I keep calling him a tank, but I think there would be a tank later on that's bigger than him, so maybe he's just a fighter right now, a big fighter. But he can taunt, which is why I kind of call him a tank, and he has heavier hits that take a little bit more to use, so that would be his disadvantage.
Sure.
This is your main character. I would suggest, if you were to play this game blindly, that your main character be a bard, because my main character, they start you off as a bard, but then you get to like make your own character, and you... Okay, this is a complaint already, I will tell you. You start the game with a character that they've defaulted to you, and it's a bard. Then you create your character. They're like, hey, create your character. And you create your character, and they let you choose a class. I've chosen practitioner here. And you go and you play the game, but you don't get your person yet. You continue playing as this bard at default, and you get through the tutorial, which leads you pretty much into the game. The tutorial is seamless with the storyline. It just follows through. But then, after that tutorial, you have to choose whether you want to like be the character that you created, which obviously who wouldn't want to be the character they created, or continue being the bard, which is the default character. And I obviously didn't do that, but I would have, or I should have, at least chosen a bard or continued with the default bard, because the practitioner is also this person I got here. She becomes your third group member. You get tens of group members, so like I said, this is not spoiler at all. But first player advice, be the bard that is referenced in A Bard's Tale. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going for in that. So, that being said, I really like the gameplay. I know how to walk around and like check things out, and if it's glowing, click on it and, you know, see doors and walls that might need breaking down. And this was easy to pick up, but there are a little bit of like things I'm not sure how to do yet. Yeah, so I will give it maybe an 8 because it's also very intriguing. Intriguing gameplay. Different gameplay that I haven't had to do before. It's almost like a card game rather than chess game, with your cards having different tricks that you can stack on top of them to make combo moves or whatnot. Alright, the difficulty of the game. I would say, as someone who has not played this series before, extremely difficult. From the get-go, I was confused. I was looking up words. Because I do play D&D, so I'm not like a complete noob. But I don't play D&D in video games, and I don't play D&D very often. So, and I haven't played D&D in forever. So I had to remember like what Constitution is and how intelligence affects things and things like that. So if you are noob to D&D, you wouldn't know any of that, and that would already be something you'd have to learn and kind of rewire your brain to that thinking. Plus, then I forgot about the whole the wearing of armor and the different swords and weapons for different types of classes, and right away from the beginning, if you don't use your skill points to unlock certain things in your character, you can't wear clothes, or you can't use certain weapons, and if you don't know to do that, then you're already not ruining, but your character can't kill anything because you have no defenses or you have no weapons. So there's a heavy learner's curve, I guess is what I'm saying there. And actually, in the end, it's the learning curve that got me to stop playing the game. So I'm gonna give it a 1 in difficulty. I got to a point where I'm like, I literally have to do homework on what the best outfit is for my people and how to do all this stuff, because when you sell your things, you know, you're getting like 1/10 of the price it's worth, but when you buy it, you have to pay full price. So you can't just easily trade your items back and forth until you've figured out the right amount. You kind of have to know what's best for your person and make sure that you're selling your things correctly and buying the right things, because if you don't, then now you're screwed and you don't have the money, and if you trade it in, you're only getting 10% of what you paid. So, control functions, everything on here works pretty wonderfully. There is a little bit of the switching from the triangle. It gets you into your party of people, and pressing the big pad gets you into your inventory and your skill point things. I wish there was some sort of relation there, because I should be able to get to my party through the pad that also gets me to my skills and my inventory and all that stuff. But that's not a big complaint. We'll give them an 8. It's pretty high. Music was gonna be an awesome score, because when you first turn the game on, there's this guy singing a lute, and he's playing a lute and singing, and that can be found all over the town, kind of. But when that's not there, it's like dead silent. There's nothing happening. So I'm just gonna run and give it a 3. The mood of the game, well, without the music, is whatever. I mean, music makes a lot of mood, so it doesn't have a lot to stand on already. But they mark the characters, the bad guys, when they're walking around with green, yellow, orange, or red colors, depending on danger. These guys are red, so I shouldn't be fighting them. I'm probably going to die, and I'm not going to finish this fight to find out. But, so when you see one of them that you can't kill, there is a little bit of like, ooh, gotta stay away from that area. I'm not strong enough. And you also know, as the game continues, you will be strong enough and that color will go down and maybe you'll eventually get to this area. So that's kind of fun and keeps you going, and is like around any corner there could be this red guy that could just completely destroy your game. But since I don't really know what the story is, and there's no music, and there's not really an atmosphere going on, it's very weak. The mood is weak. We'll give it a 3 as well. If there was a lesson, like I said, lesson is the topic. If there was a lesson, I really enjoyed the small amount of relationship between racism in this world and in our world, and just how awful it can become and get, and this is almost like a warning to society. So for that, I would like to at least give it a 7, but it's not the main storyline. It's not the main goal of the thing, and it's also because it's so embedded in imagination, characters, and fantasy lore. It might get lost in translation to a lot of people, which, I mean, this isn't a political game, so it's not like that's its goal, but that's also why it kind of drifts into the back. I'm gonna give it a 6. Ooh, angry. 5 now. Just kidding. Overall, I'm left with, honestly, I said I felt a feeling of duty, so I'm gonna give it a 1 on that, because 1 is I have to do it, and I felt like in order to do a good job at playing this game, I needed to do a lot of homework, and in the end, I don't want to do a lot of homework when I want to play a game. I want to be able to turn it on and get going and maybe learn, well, not maybe, I would like to make mistakes and learn how to fix them and keep going from there, but I don't want to have to look up too many words, or take out a piece of paper and write down what characters need this and what things, armors and spells and my skill points and all of that stuff, just because I want to like really, I mean, the point that I got to was no way I could pass it with where my people are at now, and that is exactly the point of the storyline that I'm at, so that's where I need to be. So I literally will now need to go back and do homework of how to get all 4 of my people at their best potential, because somehow I didn't get to that. And currently, like I said, where I'm at, they're not passing it. And I can't do that, which is probably why there's so many save spots, because you can then go back and refix mistakes that you've done, but I don't think you should ever have to depend on your old save spots in a game. So, gosh, for that in itself, well, I already gave it a 1, I said. So, to quickly add up the scores, we've got, that's a 20, that's a 10, that's 10, that's a 10, that's a 7. And how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I thought there were 12. I can tell you it's going to be a 5 something No. It'll be a 4.8, I believe, right? 12 divided by 57. I'm not the best at math, but I'm not the worst at math either. Calculator. 57 divided by 12. 4.75, rounded up, it's 4.8, thank you. Alright, I'm gonna write this in here. A Bard's Tale. Out of the kindness of my heart, I'm gonna give it a 5. Just round it up nicely. And I give it that 5 because I didn't finish it. But it didn't make me want to finish it either. So it's kind of lucky the score isn't lower, but at the same time, how can I judge something I haven't seen? So that's where that conundrum confusion comes from. I don't think every game that I don't want to play would get a 5, because I'm sure there will be other reasons why I wouldn't want to play a game. And I didn't not want to play this game because I thought it was awful. I actually liked a lot of aspects of it. I just thought it was too much work. And so that's why it gets a 5. It's fun, but it's work. Very confusing to my brain, and in the end, the work overtook the fun as far as wanting to do it further. So thank you for watching. This is the Bard's Tale 4 Director's Cut review. I hope it was expansive enough to really give you a good idea of what's going on. Like I said, I haven't really played this game, the other 3. So if you have, and you think this review was just horseshit, that's valid. That is valid. I hope you got the game and you're enjoying it. Alrighty. This is Tyrell VA signing off from the Vault in Our Stars. I'll be back with a new game and continue playing an old game. Actually, tomorrow's Friday, I believe. So it will be Final Fantasy Fridays. Join me while I play Final Fantasy VIII. We're almost meeting the sorceress. Very excited to see her intro. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. See you then.